Now, in a shocking incident, miscreants planned and looted a service apartment located on 14 Langford Road in the city. The incident occurred at around 9:30 last night when two miscreants entered the apartment's lobby in the pretext of asking for a room. While the two were conversing with the staff, 5 other miscreants entered the scene with knives. Now, the group then demanded from the people that they give them whatever they had, all the money. We're told that the group then fled from the place with 23,000 in cash. On learning about the incident, DCP Crime Ashok Goyal visited the place. As of now, a case of dacoity has been registered at the Ashok Nagar police station. In fact, this is a shocking case that has come to light where miscreants planned and looted a service apartment on 14 Langford Road in the city. The incident occurred last night at around 9:30. Now, what really happened was that two miscreants entered the apartment and started talking as such or having a conversation with the staff. Now, immediately 5 others entered and pulled out knives. They demanded from the staff that they give them whatever they had. Now, we're told that they escaped with 23,000 in cash. Now, on learning about the incident, DCP Crime Ashok Goyal visited the place. As of now, a case of dacoity has been registered at the Ashok Nagar police station. In what is probably the most significant foreign policy decision, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit the US in September to hold bilateral talks with Barack Obama. Now, President Barack Obama had invited Modi to the US when he called up the Prime Minister to congratulate him. Significantly, the meeting won't happen on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, but in the form of a full-fledged bilateral summit in Washington. The two sides are finalizing the dates for the meeting, which will be in the last week of September. The Modi-Obama summit promises to be one of the foremost international events of the year and will overshadow Modi's presence at the United Nations General Assembly if he decides to go to New York too. The meeting between Modi and Obama will mean that the US view on the Indian Prime Minister has come full circle from the time it imposed a visa ban on him way back in 2005 in connection with the Gujarat riots 3 years earlier. Well, in a bid to speed up work at the centre, Modi has some changes on the cards for central government employees. So what are they? Let's find out.
It's makeover time for Modi, as he is all set to make weekends shorter and working days longer. Yes, that is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi is mulling. He is all set to make amends on how the government functions to formulate a timely delivery system for the people of the country. As the Chief Minister of Gujarat, Narendra Modi had implemented the same policy in his government and ensured speedy functioning of his government. According to sources, the Department of Personnel and Training has been vested with the responsibility of preparing a note on the same. The proposal will then be presented to the Cabinet in the parliamentary session. Weekends are going to get shorter for government officers, with Sunday being their only off day. Not just that, even working hours will be affected. Employees will have to work from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. but with 2 hours of lunch break. Sources reveal that though the proposal has not been accepted, employees have been instructed to report to work on Saturdays. The Prime Minister was expected to hold a meeting on Tuesday to discuss it with his cabinet members, but due to the untimely death of Gopinath Munde, the meeting was postponed. The 5-day week policy was implemented by the Rajiv Gandhi government, and every government followed suit. Now that Modi has decided to change the age-old system, let's listen to how the Congress has reacted.
Now it is for the Modi government to prove or to deliver what they had promised to the masses of this country. So now whether it is 6 days or 5 days, it is a matter of deliverance of the promises they made to the people of this country. So let's wait and see how they deliver it. Now the people are expecting results. So we're just waiting for results.
This is not the only amendment in Modi's agenda. He has also proposed to go the MNC way and pay them according to their performance. According to Modi, this will ensure better competency and competition. The party has stayed mum about all these proposals.
See, whatever government is going to do, it is its own duty, but where it's concerned to me, I don't know more about it, that what is fact. Naturally, where it's concerned to my personal view, I am really having a good liking for this, because such sort of decision, it should make good for the good governance.
Modi, who is said to be a hard worker and works for about 18 hours a day, expects his cabinet to work for at least 12 hours. It remains to be seen whether the government officers will welcome the decision with open arms or not. Sanjay Dikshit, News 9, New Delhi.
Now, the main road in Sriram Colony, Jnanabarthi layout, has been rendered useless. Take a look as to why.
A newly constructed compound wall right across the main road of Sriram Colony in Jnanabarthi has been a source of frustration for its residents. Vehicles which drive down the road are forced to turn back in search of an alternate route, while the drainage pipelines which run under the road have been damaged. Residents have built small trenches around it to prevent it from seeping onto the road.
ಸರ್ ಇದು 3 ತಿಂಗಳಿಂದ ಈಗ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದು ಮೂಲತಃ ಇದು ನಕಾಶೆ ರಸ್ತೆ. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಹುಡುಗರು ಇರೋಂಗಿಂದನೂ ಇದೇ ರಸ್ತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮಲತಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಓಡಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಈಗ ಇದು ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಹಾಕಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಮಲತಳಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು 200 ಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇವಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಮಲತಳಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಮ್ಮಿಗೆ 2.5 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಸುತ್ತಿ ಬಳಸಿ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು.
The wall was built in mid-March by unknown parties. Not only are the residents helpless, but they do not know whom to blame for their woes. The situation would have been explained if the land belonged to someone else, but that is not the case either. Residents are seen inspecting the land papers and layout of the colony, and every document indicates that the land where the road is built was meant just for that. When they approached the Palike with the problem in March, they were told that the situation would be looked into and appropriate action would be taken. But it has been well over 2 months and absolutely no action has been taken. The Palike seems to have conveniently swept aside the matter. Meanwhile, the residents of Sriram layout in Jnanabarthi are forced to take a 3-kilometer-long detour to reach a destination which would have otherwise been less than a kilometer away. Is it just a mean prank, or is there more to this story? Pramod, News 9, Bengaluru.
Now, the government has decided to implement the Akrama Sakrama scheme after much dilly-dallying. Now, the scheme will be implemented in the next 3 days. The Urban Development Department had published a special gazette on the 28th of May on this particular matter. However, some organizations have challenged the implementation of the Akrama Sakrama scheme in the High Court. But the government has formulated new guidelines and has decided to approach the High Court on the 6th of June and also seek permission. Now, Bengaluru in charge Minister Ramlinga Reddy has expressed hope to implement the scheme in 3 days' time. The government has fixed the fine based on current market price on properties coming under the jurisdiction of the BBMP and the BDA. The government has also allowed for the legalization of sites which are illegal and also layouts which are illegal which were not converted on agricultural land. They have also decided a fee for the conversion as per the revised fee structure for up to 60 square meter sites. It will be about ₹40 per square meter. In Bengaluru rural and other Palike areas, it will be 30 rupees. And for other Palikes, it's about 20 rupees. Now, for more on this, I'm joined by my colleague Varghese. Varghese, 3 days is what they say, but isn't a case still going on in the High Court?
Well, there have been a case that is going on in the High Court, but they are also looking at the process of getting the nod from the courts to implement it. But this time they look confident enough to say that the bylaws and other things or the monitoring process is in place, and that is why they will be able to, in fact, implement it. But that has not been the case with the critics of the law. In fact, one of the criticisms that has come with regards to Akrama Sakrama is that what the critics say is that there's no authority administrating municipal laws and laws like the Act involved here, can encourage such violations. And also the actors are now questioning whether the government is trying to aid the builder mafia and corrupt babus. That has been one of the biggest questions that has been asked with regards to it. Also, now what happens is with regards to layouts that have been formed on revenue land without changing the land use status will also come under the regularization scheme, and this shows that there will be a loss of agriculture and revenue land, and though it might give in money to the state coffers. It will also ensure that bad practices still continue, because what the government is saying is that this scheme is actually a one-off scheme and only now will it be implemented. But again, if a cash-strapped city has to generate revenues, this could be a model scheme where it can in fact follow too, and this could result in many more violations coming up. Under the scheme at present, what we know is that there up to 25% of violation in residential buildings will attract a penalty of around 6%, while violations between 25% to 50% in residential buildings will attract a penalty of 8%. Now, violations to 12.5% in commercial buildings can be regularized by paying a penalty of 20%, and while violations between 20% and 25% in commercial buildings will attract a penalty of 35%. So at present, what they've done is they've in fact divided the commercial use of the building and the residential use of the building into separate categories, and that is why they have separate fee structures that have been imposed to ensure that the scheme will in fact work in a manner that will look at the commercial aspect of the building as well as the residential aspects of the building. So, but now also the other significant factor is in the conversion of land, Nolan. For a plot which is less than 60 square meters in area, it will be rupees 40 square per meter, and BBMP limits, and rupees 30 square meters in other municipalities can be paid for regularization. But that they have reduced of recently, and they made it 30 and 20 with regards to it. And also, as the plot size increases, the money also gets jacked up. But the critics of the scheme are saying that this is not a very good scheme to be implemented. Though it might give a short windfall for the government, the problem will remain that many illegal layouts will crop up, and that the government will find itself in a position when it will be unable to control the kind of illegal layouts and buildings that are coming in. The violations will, once it is regularized, it will become a problem later on if the government has to implement some other scheme. So that has been one of the issues that have been raised with regards to it. But as you know, the BBMP is broke, and they are looking for an immediate flow of cash, and they are looking at crores of rupees. In fact, what is touted, this could in fact help in getting 32,000 crores into the coffers. But at present, the implementation is something that they are worried about, because this can be open for challenge, and there is a case going, and the government is still saying that it will go ahead in 3 days. But again, it is something that it needs to get a court approval when implementing it, Nolan.
Right. Varghese, thank you very much for all those details. However, the implementation of this particular scheme depends on whether the High Court allows the government to go ahead with this or not.